Hi guys, Keith, Arkenberg Farms. It's the second week, December 2020. Temperature's pretty good, 50s. We're getting down to 20s, 30s at night, not too bad. As you can see behind me, starting to get the building framed up. I did have a framer lined out to do this, but he got backed up because of the weather. So I ended up with some extra time, and I'm in a crunch anyways for time of getting this completed. So I went ahead and just did it. So I'm going to be showing you how to do some framing today. But first, let's go around and check out the tunnels. As you can see out here, we're in plot 3 right now. The Nebraska mix finally bit the dust. It's pretty much wiped out. Any lettuce out here, it was all second cut. It's pretty much dropped out. But this tunnel's doing real good. For some reason we got a little bit of uneven growth in here. I don't know why. Because down there, great. Big, gigantic. Up here, not so much. Maybe it's irrigation or what exactly. But, I mean, this is just about all the bigger you can get Salanova. I know some of the stuff is smaller because it got caught up underneath the row cover after it was transplanted. It'll come down here, but this right here, this is what I was talking about. This is all the bigger this stuff gets. It turns into a solid patch all the way down. We're starting to get a little bit of, looks like wilting action going on. Might need to actually water a little bit. I'm always hesitant to do that because then we get cold damage from the water on the leaves. Now over here, these heads, yes, there's heads in here. You can kind of see the one right here. Are just massive. I mean, they're just gigantic. That's about all I can say to them. It's actually turned into a gigantic clump that is about a foot tall. I mean, go down here from the bottom. Look at that. High tunnel's plugging away good. Some beautiful Cleos going right now. Along with our heads over here, they're looking real nice. There's a little bit of mustard greens poking up in between stuff, but all in all, not bad. The heads are doing real good over here. And we got some kale actually coming up finally too. It's a little slow because it's blocked out by this row of dead tomatoes that have not gotten taken down. And over here, leaf lettuce is a lot smaller. This is what I was anticipating actually having go slower to where we can harvest out in January. Over here, not really sure what happened. There's a bunch of missing all over the place. Celery's bit the dust basically. I might be able to harvest some if I need to. But again, we got different weeds in here, which are just the unintended crop. That's some kind of mustard green. Yep. We'll go over in the other tunnel. Now this tunnel over here is doing real nice. So the cat tunnel over there in plot 2 was planted first. This was planted right after, and then literally a week later, and you can really see the difference how these heads are more spread out. Same thing with the heads over here and over there. I mean, they're sizing up nicely, but they're not as big. See, they're even starting to really head out in the center. But I mean, the difference in growth is just amazing in between the two. They've been through the same environment, same conditions, just 1 week difference. But these are doing really good over here. I'm really pleased with this tunnel. And unfortunately, next year it's not going to be here anymore because it's getting moved and turned into a full greenhouse. But we'll have a Farmer's Friend tunnel that'll be the same equivalent, only 16 foot wide. But yeah, I mean, we got nice, beautiful lettuce heads in here. But anyways, time to head over and start framing. So anybody that's ever done any framing before, the way a house, like the house over there that I built, is framed, it's platform framing. You build a 2x4 wall, you stand it up, and then you put your next floor on top of it or your rafters on top of it and bird mouth off and go off. You know, typical framing. With pole building, it's completely different. You gotta change your mindset and think of it more like balloon framing, to where everything on the outside goes all the way up, and then you put your roof on, and then you put your stuff in the center. For me, it's a combination of both, because the horizontals out here are stretching in between the posts, right here. And then the inside, I studded out with 9-foot studs, because we got a finished wall height of 9 foot up top. Now, I did make one mistake right off the start, because I did not account for that. I was still thinking of balloon framing. So up there, right there, yep, that post should actually stick up above the top of that. That way we have something to nail the truss to, because the truss is not going to sit on top of the post like you traditionally think. It's going to sit on the outside, and the metal is going to be screwed to it. That's what all these boards going sideways are for, is for the metal. Also framed indoor like usual. We'll just cut that out afterwards, even bottom plate and everything. Now up top, got the post. They're all built up 2x6s. They've got a notch in the middle. The middle board's lower. That's actually to accept the truss itself. The truss will drop down in it and go across. From there, the truss will be put up, and we'll put 2x6s every 2 foot running up it. That way we have plenty of support for the metal. Got garage doors both ends. We're going to build up the headers today. I got most of the framing done. The bathroom area over here. This is more of your traditional framing, what I'm doing inside, because it's just double top plate, single base plate, shot to the ground. Doors, same thing. Single base plate, double top plate, header. We got king studs, one here that our header's hooked into. I'll go through and cut jack studs afterwards on the inside to support my header, but I'll do that in 2x6 of the frame all the way out. So let me show you, and we'll just get working on the walls. Here's a little better idea of how the doors are framing up. So what I did was, I have my king studs, which go, they're the outside here. They go all the way from the bottom, all the way up to the top plate. The header is nailed into those. That's that rough opening height of the door, is the bottom of the header. Then I come back through with my jack studs. They go up underneath the header and all the way down to the base plate. Now, this chunk of wood right here in the center, that'll be cut out afterwards. We leave that in there when we frame the wall, so this side and this side stay the same distance apart when we're standing up the wall. Also, when we're framing on top of concrete like this, we don't put the jack studs in right here and here until after the wall stood up, because after I stand the wall up, there's actually a nail, concrete nail shot through below there and below there, so when I cut this out, the wall is secured. Now, same thing here. We'll go through and cut off the metal things as well, and then I'll finish boxing out this header, so something to screw the metal to on the outside. So for now, we're just going to build out this one section of wall right here that extends from this corner over to about where that conduit comes up. Now, I have my base plate, which is treated, and my top plate, which is just regular lumber. We'll line them up on the end, and we'll go across with our tape measure. Because I'm doing this with Dens glass, I'm going to have all of my studs on 2-foot centers. Typically, when you build a house, everything is on your traditional 16-inch centers. Also, I'll have a stud at each end. So I marked my center marks, got 2 of them here. Use my framing square, come across, put a mark on both of them. This will let me know where I need to nail off at. Ends, you don't have to mark it because it's just a single 2x4, but I typically do just because Come over to our other one, mark across. And the same thing down here. Mark across to indicate our corner board. So, I do them both at the same time. That way, when I stud the wall up, they'll be perfectly parallel with each other. The studs won't be moving in and out because I took 2 sets of measurements. Then I'll just be able to stand the wall up. But first, let's get it nailed together. Now, the next thing we do is we'll lay our base plate and our top plate the correct distance apart, which is 1 stud length. Next, we need to crown our lumber. So we grab a piece of lumber and look right down it. And what we're looking for is if it crowns up or down, which this one is crowning up just a little bit. So what we're going to do with that is take that and place it the way it was. So the center is where the crown is, where it's actually going upwards, and it lays flat on the ground. And we'll just line it up with our marks on both sides, which are our center marks. And now I'll continue and lay down the rest, and then we'll shoot it. Now from here it's pretty simple. We just line up our stud with the center of our mark, making sure our plate's down and our stud's fully down. Shoot 1 nail on the top. Now, get out my framing square again. I'll set it next to it, and I'll line the square up with the board, and we'll shoot 2 more. Middle and bottom. Now we'll continue this on the other side as well. Now with the bottom done, I'm going to repeat on the top. Again, I just line up the center, drop my square in, make sure it's square, shoot the other 2. Just work my way down the line. There we go. Now it's time to stand up the wall. Typically out here, I'd build the wall right in front of where I want to stand it up, but since my sawhorse and everything are set up in front of it, I'm building over here and it's small enough I can easily move. So I'm going to grab it, I'm going to stand it up, slide it into the hole over there, and I'm going to shoot a nail in the bottom down here, and then I'll go up on the ladder, get the top nailed off, and then put my top plates on. So now I need to tie on my top plate on the new wall with the exterior wall. I did not leave this top plate off like I should have, so I'm just gonna have to make a cut. But first what I'm gonna do is push my plate over. I've got a 4-foot level here, and I'm going to plumb the wall and make a mark. There we go. Now I'll chase that around over to the top with my square, and that'll show me where I need to make my cutoff. There we go. Now I'll bring my circular saw up here and make that cut. for my top plate. Now with my saw set to the correct depth, I'm going to make my cut. Block is removed. Now with that section top plate removed, I've got my next top plate that goes behind me in place, and we'll nail it off. That's why you use two top plates in standard framing. One is your wall, your second one is to lace all your walls together. On the end here I'll shoot 3, and then I'll shoot 2 on the top of this wall, and then I'll go every 16 inches or so, staggering back and forth down to the end of the wall. Shoot 1 in each first. That way I can make sure to get everything lined up. Now nail it off. Just easy as that. Now I'll continue on, going down. I'll do the same thing, lace over that corner, and then back behind me there, I'll do the same thing I did right here. So as you can see here, top plate overlaps the outside wall. This one right here, the back wall overlaps this wall right here, because this wall is on the inside of this wall, so it extends across. That laces them together. Now I'll shoot them down in the concrete on the bottom. For that, I've got what a lot of people call a ramset nailer. This one actually happens to be a Remington, same thing. It'll actually use these little 22 blank cartridges right here and fire 2.5 inch nail directly into concrete. Pretty simple setup and operation. Load your nail in with the pointy side down. Open up the nailer. Get out one of my charges. These are little 22 charges. There's one unfired. Load it in the chamber up top. We close it. Place it down on our wall where we want it to go. I usually try to shoot towards the middle, so we'll shoot one right here. Get it centered in the board, hold down with our hand, push trigger. Just like that. I'll put 2 of those per wall, or about every 6 foot. Let me show you what it looks like. So that's what you end up with. That 2.5 inch nail through an 1.5 inch plywood, or 2x4, is buried 1 inch into the concrete. All right, well, end of another lovely day. Got all my exterior and interior on the east side done. Still have to frame in that one little wing wall there next to the garage door opening. Same thing over here. Wing wall next to the garage door opening. But I've got all my posts up all the way around. And I got my top, well, not the top, but close to the top, board on the outside around, which allowed me to square off the building. Also got the bathroom area all studded in. Gotta do a little bit more work on the door. Got the king studs up, got my header, got my jacks underneath. I still got a box out and up to have somewhere to put the metal to. But other than that, all in all, it's been a good day. I'll just come back tomorrow or the next day, show you what it looks like. Okay, it's been another long week, but you know what? Now I sure have something that really is starting to look like a real building. Had framer come out today, because I did everything on the ground. Come out, put the trusses up. There's only one of me. I can't really do that all that well by myself. And then they got all the bracing in between up top. And took all the measurements for it, so I can get the metal ordered. And metal will go on this Saturday, along with garage doors. So this week's gonna be kind of a slow week. I'll just do some blocking in the bathroom for different fixtures in there. Nothing major. Maybe do a little bit more dirt work around here. I got it pretty good and smoothed out the other day, but it could still use some more. And then I'll start laying out my parking area. Probably move a little bit of dirt. And then, I don't know, I'll just keep working on it. But I hope y'all like what you saw today. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank y'all. Have a good day.